Hello, welcome back, guys. Another edition of Cool Discussions. Chris, Barry, how's everybody doing today? We're fabulous. Today we're going to talk a little bit about sports, a little bit of how doping has been a very huge topic, and there's been some other lawsuits in sports and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about the darker side of some sports. And the reason I want to talk about this is I am a WWE fan. I like wrestling. I watch it on a weekly basis, so, and recently it's come to light that about 50 wrestlers from back in the day, like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Animal of the Road Warriors, and a few other guys and their families,
really old,
have launched a lawsuit against World Wrestling Entertainment and Vince McMahon, saying that they were putting business ahead of the wrestlers' health. And the reason that they're saying this is different from other ones, like the NFL and the NHL, because recently the NFL had a lawsuit about concussions, and they settled out of court for $1 billion with these people.
Whoa.
Now, they're saying it's different because in wrestling, as we know, wrestling is fake, scripted. The winners are determined, and the matches are scripted and choreographed. So they're saying that for that reason, the company could be held more liable than other sports.
I could see that.
So this has been happening, and the WWE is countering with, well, the lawyer is just trying to just pretty much be a dick, trying to just get himself and make a name for himself, and just fishing for nothing. The allegations against WWE are false. Of course, they're going to say that. They're not going to be like, yeah, we killed our wrestlers.
Yeah.
As well as we know, Brock Lesnar, he is a UFC fighter, and he works for the WWE. He recently fought at UFC 200, and it came out that he has failed 2 drug tests in the UFC. They came back for a banned substance in both of the samples that they tested. We don't know what sample. We don't know what's going to happen to him. We don't know what the WWE is going to do with him. Who knows if the banned substance in UFC is the same banned substance in the WWE. This is the second time a big fighter has tested positive. John Jones, I think that's his name is, tested positive and had to be pulled out of that same fight card, UFC 200.
Oh, really?
And he got suspended. I think this is the second time that
Brock Lesnar did fight.
He did, and he failed after the test.
Okay,
after.
Okay.
I think they take 2 samples. So they tested the one. It came back flagged like, hey, so they got to test sample B. So then he
failed that one.
Failed that one too. So I haven't seen any news on what's happening with him and how that's going to correlate for the WWE, because he has a big match at SummerSlam coming up with Randy Orton. And this is another second time with WWE in the past month that one of their big stars has been caught doping or doing something. WWE has a wellness program. I don't know it, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do, but it covers everything from abuse, drug abuse, violence, spousal violence, stuff like that. So their big star, Roman Reigns, suspended 30 days because he violated their wellness program.
Did he miss anything?
He got suspended. He got suspended right after the last pay-per-view.
So he
dropped his titer, and he's coming back this Sunday for their pay-per-view this Sunday. Just in time. He came back last night at a live event.
So basically his suspension was for show.
Well, no, it was an actual suspension.
Yeah, but okay.
But it was the timing of it was good enough where
yeah, exactly.
It did affect because he's in the big title match at their event, and it did affect them. But I think it'll work out. Who knows what it was? They don't release what it was. They don't. They just say he violated the wellness program. The same thing happened with one of their announcers, Jerry the King Lawler.
What?
He got into a fight with his girlfriend.
Oh.
Got arrested. WWE immediately suspended him indefinitely and then few weeks later, the charges were dropped, and they said, "Okay, come on back." They reinstated him.
Okay, that's good because they're actually showing that this wellness program is supposed to be
working.
something.
It is working. They've had other wrestlers. Obviously, wrestlers and fighters probably stand a really good chance of getting addicted to pain medication because they're putting their bodies through. They're on the road 5 days a week,
yep,
fighting, bumping, and it's very demanding hard on the body.
As much as wrestling is fake,
It's real athletics.
it's real athletics. When they're flipping and jumping and bouncing, it takes a toll on
Yeah.
you. So I get it. Being fake, wrestling being fake, doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the sport. So at least
Well, it's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to look at it as entertainment. It's not a sport.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
athletic,
Yeah.
but it's entertainment. So when I heard about this thing, and it was on the news about the wrestlers suing the WWE, and I kind of thought, all I think about is when because there's, like I said, there's been NFL suits, NHL suits, and I just go, well, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting paid to do a job. You know what you're getting into. You know that I'm going to play football, and I'm going to get my head knocked in. I'm going to wrestle, get my head knocked in.
Now, remember when hockey first started, there was no helmets, there was very little padding, gear, and things like that. If we were still playing hockey that way nowadays, I could totally see, them saying, "Oh, they're trying to profit over people instead of their safety." Nowadays, there's
with the NHL,
gear.
they've instituted a rule that for players that come into the NHL now, you have to wear visors. Visors are mandatory.
Oh, really?
But not for players who are already in the NHL. So it's kind of grandfathered in. So new players coming in.
That's good.
Because they had like a problem with
explanation.
Eye injuries. They had a problem with eye injuries and stuff like that. So when I see these lawsuits, I go, oh my God. And I just go, really? Are you broke? I just think you're broke and you're trying to get some cash. You see that these companies are doing great. Like, you get paid a lot of money to play a sport. I don't know what it was like back in the day.
They made a lot of money by comparison. Yeah.
So, like,
not
put your money
not
away.
to the
Save your
extent.
money. You know that you're getting into a physical sport.
Yep.
A physical activity. And so that's my take on that. I just kind of went, come on, really? Why is this even in the news? Why?
I agree.
I find that, like, I heard it on the radio a couple times. Like, I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, okay, whatever. And Sportsnet has it. The radio station that I listen to has talked about it in their news headlines, and I went, why aren't you talking about their pay-per-view that's coming up in your sports section? You know what I mean? It's because it's not good enough. Like, you're talking about something negative, and you're casting a negative light on wrestling. You know what I mean? It's like you're giving wrestling a bad rap. And it's like, I don't think that I think they take care of their employees, I guess. I guess they're like contracted people. So.
Yeah, they are contracted people. I get it. Whenever people make money, that's when... as bad as an example as this is, it's like Bill Cosby. I think all of the people suing him in civil court has become more prevalent because I think they found out how much he's worth. He's actually worth a hell of a lot of money.
Surprisingly, because he's been out for...
Yeah, and I heard upwards of $1 billion. And it's just like... within 6 months of hearing that, all these...
You wonder if it's just cash grabs for these people.
Started popping up. I know that's a horrible example, but that's kind of the way...
Imagine you went to your job after you left, after a couple of years, and you went back and said, oh, I have a back injury because you didn't take care of me. Imagine you tried to sue your job for that.
Would it work?
No. You would get laughed at by any lawyer. Mm-hmm. But because it's a big name, NFL, WWE, NHL...
Well, you said $1 billion. $1 billion. Even if it's like 100,000 people, it's still like $1,000 a person.
Still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
It's interesting, and this leads me into like kind of the other thing about with the Olympics coming up. They start in like 2 weeks in Rio.
Oh, 2 weeks.
And
wow.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about doping. Russia is is huge. They're facing a complete ban of their whole Olympic team because of doping. They were caught. Their whole track team was caught doping. So they got banned. They're 100% banned. We find out this weekend if the whole Russian Federation is banned completely. Mm-hmm. The Russians had their under 18 hockey team thrown out of the World Championships because they were doping. I'm not 100% sure if it was the under 18, but it was at one big world tournament that they had their whole team thrown out because of doping. There's been a lot of professional athletes because you've got like Milos Raonic, you've got a lot of NBA stars, a lot of golf stars.
Did you say golf?
Yeah, golf is an Olympic sport
I'm
now.
sorry, what?
And a
Golf?
lot of like their top names aren't going to Rio because of this Zika virus.
Yeah,
And it's like I've said it before about the Olympics. I think the Olympics should be just get rid of them. I don't think we should have Olympics anymore. I think we should put more focus on the world championships of these events because then will we get the top? Yeah, you take your top event in that sport like golf. You take their top. They have 4 majors a year. There's already a big hoopla about them, but let's say like bobsleigh. We take their big world championships and we put it on television.
Yeah.
Luge, put it on television. Gymnastics, put it on television. You know what I mean?
They do. It's not just always on.
Not in Canada they ever do.
Yeah,
I never see
in
it.
the States it's much
I never
different
see
market.
it, but like, I think we should just be making a bigger hoopla about each individual sports
Now,
world championships.
I haven't been following it nearly as much as you, but from what I understand, Russia was basically manufacturing dopers.
Pretty much, they were putting something in something they gave them, like a drink or something like that.
No, but I mean, like the head, the minister of sports in Russia, like a top agent, knew about this, was making it happen. They set up labs to bypass tests so they can make sure everybody passed, so they weren't caught doping. They've been retesting samples from the 2014 and the 2012 Olympics, and they've been finding all kinds of people that have been doping.
Yeah, I've read that somewhere, not just from Russia, but everywhere. They've been finding, I think they said like 23 medal winners from one of the previous Olympics. They found like 23 medal winners have been found to have doping, like some sort of banned substance in their tests or whatever.
So why don't they just have Olympics with doping?
That's the great question. Why don't they just allow it?
Yeah.
And I guess you put an unfair playing field, but
if everybody's allowed to do it.
Yeah. I guess it comes to what you want to do with your body then.
True.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
if an athlete wants to do that, well, why not?
Yeah. Then if you don't want to participate in that, then don't participate, I guess. I don't know. Like it's you want a fair playing field.
Okay, I get it. It is supposed to be fair, but you know what? Look at Russia blatantly as a country made it so their athletes could win.
Yeah. There's always going to be cheaters. There's always going to be cheaters.
True.
So if you have less rules to cheat, does that not make it cheaters less cheaters? So if you take out you can't take steroids, like the obvious one, like the anabolic steroids or whatever. I know there's tons of drugs that help you in performance, and I get it, but I wonder how much of a difference they actually do make.
Enough that they're banned.
So like, okay, are the ban lists in these too big? Are they banning? Because I've heard I take a supplement and I didn't realize it had a banned substance in it.
Yeah,
I take an over-the-counter substance and it has something that's banned in it.
Yeah.
Should that be banned if it's over-the-counter?
But
You know what I mean? It's like,
okay, one, do tests not have? Can the test not determine how much of a substance is in there to see whether or not, like, if you're taking something over the counter and there's a banned substance in there, obviously that banned substance can't be in such a large quantity.
Yeah, exactly.
That it would make it a performance.
exactly. Like, but that's where
drug.
it comes back to the question of how much of an edge does it give you? Is it like 1 full second to a runner? Is it half a second? I know that
1 full second to a runner is huge.
Like, even a tenth of a second is huge.
Yeah.
So, like, how much of a... Have we been able to correlate it into how much of a difference it makes in competition? Do these drugs actually make you... Like, with Brock Lesnar, did the drug that he had in his system, did it give him an edge over his opponent?
Oh, okay, hold on. For that matter, marijuana is on that banned substance thing. And I'm sorry, from my experiences with that...
Marijuana's not going to make me perform better.
That's not a performance-enhancing drug. If I could... Because there was a snowboarder, a Canadian snowboarder, in one of the Olympics. He got caught with marijuana in his system, and they pulled his gold medal, and it's just like, you know what? If he won a gold medal with marijuana in his system, you should give him 2. Because
that's amazing. And that dope he had in his system, marijuana, it was probably from 3-4 days before his competition.
Yeah.
So...
It's one of those things. It's like, I know they can tell how long dope has been in your system for.
And that's where it comes back to should what's a banned substance be reevaluated by these heads of sports federations?
Well, maybe the percentage should be.
Maybe.
Because if it's like if you test positive for, substance B at 25%, you fail, but if you get it at 21%, it's fine. Yeah.
Because if it isn't a substance, if it's in one of those like protein shakes or something like that I'm drinking for my own health and recovery or whatever after workouts, then to me it should be allowed. Because then everybody can take it. You know what I mean? Everybody can do this. It's I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird that obviously this just shows that obviously every sport in the Olympics, 90% of them are probably have somebody who's doped, somebody who's, and they don't even test, they probably just test the top people. They don't probably test the person who finished 105th out of 110.
No, they
whatever.
Test the winners, exactly.
If you win a medal, they test you, and it's so if I don't win a medal, I get away with it. I know they do random stuff.
Yeah. Well, okay, look to some of the extent that people have gone to cheat the system. One guy, he tested positive, and he was like, "Oh, it must have been me absorbing the blood of my twin from so long ago." And it's like,
yeah, it's just silly.
I heard that they used to have urine in condoms shoved up their butts, so that way when they have to pee, they just go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really?
Yeah, it's just weird, to me, I just don't, I watch the Olympics because it's cool, I like sports, but I don't get the whole allure of them anymore. I don't understand, you want the best in the world to go there, and you want the best on best competition, You know what I mean? But right now, we don't have the best in the world going, and in the next Winter Olympics, we're not going to have the best hockey players going. We're not going to, so it's...
But, okay, it's supposed to be amateurs, too.
Wow.
So a guy made a point about this to me. It's like, if you're paid money to do this sport, you shouldn't be allowed to compete in the Olympics. So, for example, NBA players, no. Baseball players, no. Hockey players, no. If you're paid money to do this,
who's going to watch it then? That's why. Who's going to watch that?
But okay, it's not like you don't have a pool okay. In Canada, we have a huge pool of hockey players to draw from that aren't paid money to do this, and they would love to go to hockey.
They would, yes, but I don't think that it's the name, right? You have Sidney Crosby going to the Olympics. It draws in that fan base of them already, and
to a point.
You have Connor McDavid going. It's like
you have
LeBron James. It's like, ooh, everybody knows who he is, and it's like now he's not there. So it's like,
but. Okay, in that sense, because basketball is really only ever played in the States, it is played around the world, but it's a league in the States. And if you bring all the good people from there, well, nobody has a chance.
I just think that
the American basketball team that is filled with NBA stars has won every year. And it's just like, well, it doesn't make it a competition anymore. It's a race for second and third.
Yeah.
And it's like, as a basketball player, when I go, oh, well, great, I can get a silver medal if I try really hard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess, yeah.
Well, okay, if you end up in the final, you're guaranteed a silver, but that's not why you're playing.
Yeah, you want to play for a gold, but I don't know. I just think that it's just weird. All the controversy with the Olympics and with the Zika virus and people not going and the doping and stuff like that. I think it puts a bigger black mark on the Olympics. The Olympics are supposed to be this huge, extravagant festival and great time. Yeah, and it's just, to me, and even how Brazil's having trouble paying for them, and it's like.
But that right there shouldn't be our problem.
Well, it's
They're
not,
the ones.
they're the ones who bid on it.
Yeah, knowing full well that they probably couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So it right there should have been a red flag. It's like when here in Quebec, in Canada, the Quebec City mayor said, "Oh, we should host the Olympics and then have half the events over in Alberta." It's like,
That doesn't work.
no,
Yeah, no.
that's not the way you do the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, no. And the people in Alberta said, no, that's not the way you do the Olympics. And then Calgary decided, hey, maybe we should bid on the Olympics. And it's just like, well...
I just thought these topics were pretty interesting. The WWE's finally getting some mainstream headlines for the wrong reason. And when you watch it, and you look at it as entertainment, not a sport, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
The people who are in it are very athletic. They're very good at what they do. But now people look at the wrestling and go, well, wrestling's fake, and it just gives them a bad name for...
Well, come on. Even when we watched it when we were little, we knew wrestling was fake. And, what was actually really cool about that was one of our substitute gym teachers was a Hart.
Yeah, he was Owen Brett's brother or something.
Yeah, Owen Hart. And he taught us gym, and he's like, oh, wrestling's fake. And a lot of us like, no. And he showed us 2 videos of a match, and they were choreographed right down to everything. Everything was the same. It was one match in one area of the States, another match in the other area. Same. 4 different people. So like two match, not the same, but it's exact same choreography. And it's like, you had to spoil it for us.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Like there's been a lot of these stories in the last few months of people getting caught with banned substances and stuff like that. And
even Lance Armstrong came clean a year ago or so, saying, it's like, yeah, I'm a doper. And it's like, well...
Even in baseball, yeah, like these people, Sammy Sosa, McGuire, all these people, Barry Bonds, like they're all juicers. Who cares? To me, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. It doesn't make me like the sport less. It doesn't make me... I just go, okay, well, that's just the way of life. There's cheaters. There's cheaters in the corporate world. There's cheaters everywhere. If there is a way to do something better, and it's only cheating if you get caught.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that's the way it works. If you don't get caught, it's not cheating.
Yep.
I don't know. Other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in. YouTube, subscribe. Facebook, like.
iTunes, subscribe, listen, and
comment below.
Yeah, comment below.
Do you like the Olympics? Do you think banned substances should be allowed? Should we just have the doping Olympics, where anything is allowed?
Well, why not, right?
Until next week. Same YouTube channel. Same YouTube. I don't know where I was going with that.
You're trying.
I tried, fail. Goodbye. Get out of here. Go Pokemon.